All right, ready to dive in. Today, we're all about Qingdao, China.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, so, you're thinking about a trip, right?
Sure.
And you're kind of wondering, is Qingdao worth it? Should it be on the list?
Makes sense. Lots of places to choose from.
Exactly. So we've got some intel, little peek at FlightNHotels.com, that booking site?
Yeah, I've seen it.
They're calling Qingdao, get this, a hidden gem.
A hidden gem, huh? I always wonder, hidden from who,
Right. Like, is it really hidden or just, I don't know, underappreciated?
Could be. Maybe it's a hidden gem for, Western tourists.
But a well-known spot within China.
Exactly. Good place to start, figuring that out.
Totally. So this travel article we dug up, it talks about Qingdao's mix of nature, history, and all that modern stuff.
Oh, the modern infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get specific. Zhanqiao Pier. Ever heard of it?
Rings a bell, vaguely.
So, picture this. An iconic red and white pavilion. It's like jetting out into the East China Sea.
Okay, starting to get the picture.
Perfect photo op, right?
Definitely Instagram worthy.
And speaking of iconic, the Tsingtao Brewery.
Ah, yeah, the beer.
Imagine tasting that legendary beer right at the source.
Fresh.
Can't beat that, though we got to talk history too, right?
Oh, for sure. Lay it on me.
So this brewery, it was founded way back in 1903.
Wow, that's old.
Right. And it was during the German colonial period.
Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten about that part of Qingdao's past.
Huge part of their story. It's not just a brewery. It's a symbol.
A symbol of what?
Of how different cultures, intertwined in this city.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Real depth.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got breathtaking views, right? Mount Laoshan, stunning.
Can't go wrong with mountain views.
Then there's Golden Sands at number 1 bathing beach.
Beach and mountains, nice combo.
And then there's the Old Town. It's described as this captivating mix, right? German colonial architecture, but also traditional Chinese elements.
Now that's where the hidden gem idea gets interesting.
How so?
That architectural blend, you don't see that everywhere. You're right, it's unique.
Yeah, and it's like a physical reminder of Qingdao's past. It makes you think, how do these different cultural influences actually coexist today?
Fascinating question. Now, for families, there's the Marine Science Museum, big aquarium, interactive exhibits, the whole shebang.
Sounds fun for the kids.
Definitely. And if you're actually thinking of booking this trip, FlightNHotels.com, they're recommending it.
Sure, but people probably know how those booking sites work, right?
Yeah, for the most part. But what makes this one stand out for a trip like this? What do you think?
Well, what intrigues me, especially with a place like Qingdao, is its potential,
Potential for what?
To unlock experiences, things you might not find easily otherwise.
Like what kinds of things?
Think local guest houses tucked away in historic neighborhoods, or boutique hotels with unique architecture.
Whoa, I like that.
Hidden gems within the hidden gem, you could say?
Layers of hidden gems.
Yes.
Nice.
And we can't forget the practical stuff either.
Right, like what?
Well, people want things to be easy, so features like side-by-side comparisons, flights, hotels, all that.
Super helpful.
User reviews, too, for both hotels and flights. And, of course, clear pricing.
You gotta know what you're getting into. No hidden fees.
Exactly. And since Qingdao might be, less familiar for some travelers, the ability to filter options.
Oh, based on their needs, right?
Yeah, that becomes even more important, whether it's being close to certain attractions, budget stuff, or even specific amenities.
So it's really tailoring the experience.
To your preferences, exactly. Making it personal.
So it's not just about finding the cheapest deal. It's about using the site's tools to, craft the trip you actually want.
Exactly. You're in control.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, what does this FlightNHotels.com platform actually tell us about, the range of travel experiences available in Qingdao?
That's a good question.
Is it mainly for luxury travelers? Budget backpackers?
Yeah.
Or is there a mix?
Well, to really answer that, we need to dig into the specifics of the site more. But what's interesting is even the article hints at Qingdao's ability to cater to different travel styles.
Oh, how so?
You've got those luxurious beachfront resorts, but also those charming guest houses I mentioned.
The hidden gem guest houses.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there's this flexibility, it's built into the city itself.
Makes sense, considering what we've learned about Qingdao's history.
Right.
Yeah.
A city shaped by all these different cultural influences. It's bound to have a diverse range of experiences, too.
It's like the city itself reflects that whole hidden gem concept. Mm-hmm. Something for everyone, but you got to dig a little to find your perfect match.
Precisely. peeling back the layers, discovering those hidden gems within the hidden gem. And that's where a platform like FlightNHotels.com can be so useful. It's not just booking, it's exploring.
It's about possibilities.
Yes. Finding those unique experiences that really resonate with you.
I love that perspective. It's not just planning a trip, it's an adventure.
Exactly.
And that sense of adventure, I think, that's what makes Qingdao so compelling.
It's inviting you to explore, to discover, to uncover those hidden gems.
The things you wouldn't have found otherwise.
Right. And that feeling of discovery is, I think, amplified by the fact that Qingdao isn't overrun with tourists yet.
Oh, you're saying it's still authentic?
Yeah, it retains a sense of place. It hasn't been diluted by, mass tourism.
So it's a chance to experience a destination on its own terms.
Before it becomes, the next big thing.
Before everyone catches on.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of experiencing a destination on its own terms, we've talked history, architecture, but what about the food? I mean, it's China, so we know it's got to be good.
Oh, absolutely. The article emphasizes seafood, which makes sense.
Coastal location.
Exactly. Fresh fish, shellfish, all that. It's a big part of the local cuisine.
Okay, but come on, we got to go beyond seafood.
Of course. Of course. China's a culinary wonderland.
Right. What else can we expect in Qingdao? Give me the details.
From what I've gathered, Qingdao's food scene, it's like a reflection of its history, all those diverse influences.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So you'll find traditional Shandong cuisine, known for bold flavors, fresh ingredients.
Sounds amazing already.
But then there's that German influence too, remember? Especially in baked goods and sausages.
Oh, right, the fusion.
Exactly. And let's not forget the street food.
Oh, yes, China's street food is legendary.
Qingdao is no exception. Imagine those night markets, skewers of grilled meats, steaming bowls of noodles, all those local delicacies.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. So we've got fresh seafood, traditional Chinese cuisine, a touch of German influence, and a vibrant street food scene.
It's a feast for the senses, for sure, visually and culinarily.
Absolutely. But what about the vibe of this city? Like, is it this harmonious blend of cultures, or is there something more, complex going on?
That's a tough one to answer without actually being there, experiencing it firsthand.
Sure.
But what strikes me is Qingdao's ability to embrace contradictory elements. It's a place where ancient temples exist alongside modern skyscrapers.
You've got tradition and modernity side by side.
Exactly. Traditional tea houses next to trendy cafes.
It's a mix, a fusion.
There's this fluidity to the cultural landscape. Different influences have found a way to not just coexist, but to complement each other.
It's like the city itself is a microcosm of China's story.
Oh, I see what you mean.
This nation grappling with modernization, but also holding on to its heritage.
That tension, that interplay between old and new, that's what makes Qingdao so fascinating.
It's not just a destination. It's a living, breathing story, waiting to be uncovered.
A story waiting to be told. What's really cool is this article, it doesn't just focus on the typical tourist stuff.
Oh, like buildings and beaches.
Yeah, exactly. It actually talks about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It mentions Qingdao's fresh air, the vibrant nightlife.
And
these details, they really matter.
For sure.
They shape the whole experience.
You're right. I can almost picture it.
Can't you?
Walking along the coast.
Yeah.
Breathing in that fresh air.
And then later,
experiencing the nightlife.
The article even mentions waterfront bars.
Nightclubs, local pubs.
Serving up that Tsingtao beer, I bet.
Oh, definitely. Gotta have that.
But, and this is important, vibe can be subjective, right?
Totally.
One person loves another might hate.
Exactly.
That's where those user reviews, like on FlightNHotels.com, they come in handy.
Oh, for sure.
You can get a feel for a place,
before you even get there.
The atmosphere of different hotels, bars.
Even neighborhoods.
It's like a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Our listeners probably thinking about the cost.
The budget.
Is Qingdao a budget-friendly spot, or are we talking luxury travel here?
That's where that wide range of options on FlightNHotels.com is so helpful.
How so?
It's not just finding the cheapest flight or whatever.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you.
For your budget?
And your travel style.
I see.
You can filter by price, obviously.
Yeah.
But also by amenities, neighborhood.
You can even read reviews from other travelers
who are in your budget range.
Exactly.
So you can see what their experience was like.
Yeah, get a real sense of what to expect.
So it's about using the tools they give you
to craft the perfect Qingdao experience, however you define that.
I love that. Crafting experience.
You're the artist of your own trip.
And speaking of crafting, let's talk food.
My favorite topic.
The article mentions seafood is like a big deal there.
Oh, absolutely. Fresh seafood.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Right on the coast.
Exactly.
But it's not just about what they're cooking.
No.
It's how they're cooking it.
Right. The preparation.
The article talks about Shandong cuisine.
Yeah, regional style.
It's all about umami flavors, spices.
Think dumplings, seafood dumplings,
Mm-hmm.
savory pancakes,
Ooh.
rich, slow-cooked dishes.
I'm already drooling.
Me too, and we're just getting started.
There's also that German influence we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picturing bakeries, pastries, maybe even some sauces.
It's that fusion, right?
The fusion of culinary traditions.
That makes Qingdao so unique.
So intriguing.
And don't forget street food.
China is famous for it.
Qingdao is no different. Night markets, skewers of grilled meat, steaming bowls of noodles.
It's an adventure for your taste buds.
It really is.
Okay, so we've got the sights, the sounds, the tastes.
What else is there?
But what about the culture?
Yeah.
Is it really this perfect blend of German and Chinese influences, or is
Right.
there more to it?
That's a tricky question.
I know.
Hard to answer without, actually going there.
Experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, but we can say this.
Okay,
Qingdao's history, it's complex.
definitely.
The German colonial period, it left a mark.
On their architecture,
Culture, food, everything.
how people view that legacy today.
It's going to vary, right?
Different perspectives.
Individual experiences, community memories.
It's a good reminder that travel isn't just about checking things off a list.
Oh, no.
It's about engaging with a place.
With its history, its culture, even the tough parts.
It's about context.
Understanding what's behind what you see.
I think that's where FlightNHotels.com really shines.
How so?
It's not just about cheap flights and convenient hotels.
No.
It's about using all that info they provide. User reviews, descriptions, local insights.
To make better decisions.
Decisions that align with your values.
Your desire to really connect with a place.
It goes deeper.
Yeah.
So it's about planning a trip that's not just fun.
But also meaningful.
To go beyond the surface.
Uncover the layers, the history, the culture, the lived experiences that make Qingdao unique.
Exactly.
It's about approaching travel with curiosity.
An openness to learning.
A willingness to embrace the complexity.
And that's how you find those real hidden gems.
The ones that stay with you.
Long after you've come home.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot about Qingdao.
Beaches, beer, history, food.
Even those cultural nuances.
It's a fascinating place.
Well, let's bring it back to our listener.
Okay.
Who do you think would really thrive in this city?
Someone who appreciates something a little different.
Off the beaten path.
Yeah. Who enjoys exploring, uncovering hidden layers.
Someone interested in history, culture.
Good food and drink, of course.
Someone who's not afraid to venture out.
Beyond the tourist traps.
Delve into the heart of the city.
Seek out authenticity.
Embrace the unexpected.
Exactly.
Someone who gets that travel is more than just sightseeing.
It's about experiencing a place fully.
With all its complexities and contradictions.
Yeah.
So, if you're that kind of traveler,
The kind who thrives on
who
discovery.
embraces the unexpected, who seeks authentic experiences,
Qingdao might just be the perfect fit.
it's a city that invites you to explore,
To question, to dig deeper.
to uncover those hidden gems that are waiting.
For those who are willing to look.
I think we've pretty much busted that myth,
Yeah.
Qingdao being just another coastal city.
Yeah, there's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
Way more going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely. Layers upon layers.
But like any place, there are probably some misconceptions floating around.
Misconceptions. You're right.
What do you think is the biggest one about Qingdao? What do people get wrong?
That's a good question. Maybe the biggest misconception is that, it's all about the German colonial past,
Like, that's the only thing that defines it.
Yeah, and while that history is important, for sure, it's just one piece of the puzzle.
It's just one layer.
Exactly. Qingdao is a modern city. It's dynamic. It's got this rich Chinese heritage, a thriving art scene.
It's more than just those old buildings.
So much more. It's about looking beyond the obvious, beyond those first impressions.
Recognizing that it's a multifaceted place.
A tapestry woven from all these different threads, each one contributing to its identity, an identity that's constantly evolving.
I like that, a tapestry. So it's about embracing the whole spectrum of what Qingdao offers.
Yeah, from those ancient temples to hiking in the mountains, the seafood, the nightlife.
It's all there.
A surprising amount of depth and diversity.
We've covered a lot, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface. There's always more to discover.
Always more to explore.
So as we wrap up, any final thoughts? Like a thought-provoking question our listeners should consider. As they're thinking about Qingdao,
How about this? How does a city reconcile its past with its present to shape its future?
Ooh, that's deep.
Qingdao, with its blend of German and Chinese influences, it's like a case study in cultural evolution.
It's a city that's constantly changing, but also honoring its roots.
A trip to Qingdao, it's not just a vacation, it's an opportunity, a chance to witness this evolution happening.
To see those forces at play, shaping our world.
It's fascinating.
I love that. Travel isn't just about relaxing and seeing the sights, it's about so much more.
It's about growing, learning, challenging yourself.
Engaging with the world in a meaningful way.
Exactly.
So pack your bags, book those flights and hotels on FlightNHotels.com, and get ready to be amazed. Qingdao, the hidden gem, awaits. Happy travels.